this is from the developers of Planet Coaster, and it is essentially a zoo simulation game. You build a zoo, you manage a zoo, you run a zoo, all aspects of it, from, getting the animals to storing the animals, making sure the animals are well fed, making sure they're well looked after and they don't die. Also running the financial side of a zoo, making sure that consumers are happy, they can come look at the animals, you can set ticket prices, you can do all that kind of good stuff, and really just make a zoo is the game here. And so we're going to play career mode here, jumping in at the start with the Goodwin House, which is this guy right here, a stately homeschooling. Renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in 1980s, Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. Most recently, it's undergone further renovations to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed, which is where you come in. So we're going to start a new game. I did play a little bit of this first scenario here, just to get the settings dialed in right, to make sure the game looks good and runs at a reasonable frame rate.
Heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Blanco language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma, because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals. We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Here we go. Explore the zoo, locate the grizzly bear habitat. I'm assuming that it is the habitat that is surrounded by these blue, lines over here. But real quick, this is a very nice zoo they've got going on. They've got a little maze out front here with this guy, this reindeer statue, and then they've got bushes and everything, and a water fountain, and this big old greenhouse looking thing, which is actually a ride. They got some Planet Coaster vibes going on here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go look at these bears, shall we?
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Ah, Zachary.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Boom. Oh, it's quite the view we've got there.
This is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals.
It really is.
You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
You can get this view by double-clicking? Oh my goodness.
Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Okay, so if I double-click on my bear from anywhere, it takes me into this lovely camera mode. I see. There's also a cinematic camera mode as well, which just gives us this lovely cinematic camera. If we get rid of the objectives, we can see just the bear, just Zachary. Oh, beautiful. All right, the lions. Where are the lions? Over here.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
All right. The warthogs. Okay, where are the... Oh. Don't crash? Okay, we're good. We're good. I had to leave the cinematic camera. That's fine. So the warthogs are over here. Or at least
as you can see,
they
it's
should
a
be.
lovely space for warthogs, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. The warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Okay, use the animal trading menu to adopt the warthogs.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Buy from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
That would not be great. So we got two common warthogs, both about 5 years old, one male, one female. Are warthogs this cheap in the real world? $81 and $79 respectively? Seems rather cheap for two warthogs, you know, $160 in total. But sure. Source, private zoo. Size, 92%. What? All right, let's adopt both of these warthogs, shall we?
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
Open the trading center to place the warthogs in the zoo. I see. Animals in storage, 2 of 30. We got both common warthogs. All right, so we can send to zoo. Or we can cash it in for $69. I see. I don't know what longevity 58% means either, but all right, send to zoo. Right about here. And same again for the other warthog. Send to zoo. Oh no, this girl. Send to zoo.
When
Boom.
you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action. Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health.
Hold on. Is the warthog in... First of all, this guy's hair. I love it. Where can I get this? Oh my goodness, that is incredible. But secondly, why is he carrying a broom with him? And thirdly, is there a warthog in here? Surely the warthog is bigger than this, right? Like a 5-year-old warthog does not... Like, later on in this game, am I going to have him put like an elephant into one of the elephant enclosures and he's just going to run over with one of these boxes and dump the elephant out? Is that how that's going to work? Let's follow this guy, shall we?
Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare
I love it.
information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Okay, so the animals do explode
Let's start by
into
making
existence.
sure
I
we're
love
taking
it.
care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Okay, add a feeding station, add a water bowl, add a toy enrichment. Okay, so presumably under habitat here, let me get rid of some of these overlays because they do take up quite a large amount of the screen. So we have the food trough, small, and the water bowl, large. So presumably this is the only entrance to the area. And so to make our employees' lives a little easier, let's put the food trough and also the water bowl pretty close to the entrance, right?
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Okay, place an enrichment toy. So we now have access to the mud bath, which is significantly larger than the food and water troughs over there, but that's fine. We'll throw that right in the middle.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see.
Thank you.
Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the Ostrich Habitat. It's over near the hippos.
The Ostrich Habitat, okay. It's over near the hippos. I love how she says that as if I know where the hippos are.
Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay, habitat gate. So we can either have it over here, or I guess also over here. Let's put it on this side, so it's a bit closer to where our delivery men are. Outside of placement area. Okay, never mind. Let's also not put it there. Let's put it... Oh, it needs to connect to the path? Outside placement area. Is that not allowed? Oh, I see. We have to place it in the pre-existing... okay.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
I understand. Boom.
Good work.
Is it?
Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier so the guests can see in.
Oh, so you can move the walls there, I see. I would like to replace this with glass. That's not glass. I would like to replace this barrier with glass. Okay, we've got some work to do here, chat. Glass. Select. No, I don't want brick. I want glass.
There
Boom.
we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Is that how zoos work? I've been to a few zoos in my time. I don't think I've ever seen a donation box. Like, usually it's a pay-up-front kind of model. But I guess, you know what? Why not? Here we go. Put down a little trash can for your money. If your money's burning a hole in your pocket, throw it in this trash can. We will happily take it.
All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
4 common ostriches. Don't mind if I do. Animal trading. Let's go see what we can buy here. So 4 common ostriches, 3 females, 1 male. All between, 11 and 16 years old. Seems reasonable. These ones are a little bit more expensive, but that's fine. We do have $175,000 in the bank right now. And that number is slowly rising? Yeah, it's slowly going up. We got a fairly profitable zoo going on here. And so it should just be a case of dropping all these guys in.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Ah, I see. So I understand. We're not here to make our lives easier for our employees. We're here to make it more entertaining for the people watching. So habitat, we want to make sure that our food bowl and our water trough. Wait, let me check my achievements real quick, like my objectives. Add a water station. Okay, I'm assuming either of These will do. So rotate. Oh, I understand. Yes, I remember this from Planet Coaster. Wait, no, I don't. You press this and then you hold Z. There we go. Okay, so I would like to rotate this and place it here for now. And then enrichment-wise, what else do we have here? We've got the slow feeder. Is this the enrichment bit? I guess so.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera finds alone would bankrupt us.
I didn't notice. I honestly did not notice
Bernie
that I put that there.
Seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Okay, so we've got 3 different kinds of keeper hut. I guess we're just going to leave this here for now. This is where their food bowl is. They do also have a slow feeder, so I don't even know if the food bowl was necessary. But there it is. The perspective when I put it down, I don't know. It's fine. So we need to put down a small keeper hut. And we have a few different options for like the style of the keeper hut, depending on how we want it to look.
Rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Yes. Let's put it down like here, shall we? Just opposite the entrance to the enclosure. Just opposite the entrance to the enclosure. There's a marked place. It's fine, chat. It's fine. Facilities, hut, rotated around. Boom. Perfect.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Okay, that makes sense. So we have our keeper hut. We need a transformer. Utilities, transformer.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Oh, I see.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal Tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
I am here.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat. From scratch. And wood and concrete, I expect. So go ahead and build it. And don't forget the habitat gate. It's always best to place the habitat gate close to the keeper hut. As it happens, there's one quite near to the trade centre.
Okay. So they're giving us a bit more free rein here.
Make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
So here is our staff facility, right? This is where our keepers are. Our keeper hut small. Okay. So, barriers first. Let's throw down our entrance, which is going to go. First of all, let's get rid of all of these little pop-ups here. All right. So we only have concrete this time. That is, I guess, somewhat fine, but a little annoying given the fact that we have made the first bit here out of, like, brick. Wait, did that work? No, I've removed the door somehow. Wait, how have I managed this? Delete this. Barriers. Habitat gate. Rotate it until it's ready to connect. And boom. Okay, habitat gate is placed down. Can I now... Do I have to build the walls? Oh, I see. I can build them off of this one. That makes sense. Can I increase the distance here? Oh, I can. Oh. Oh. Okay. Maybe not the best use of our money, but it definitely makes for an extravagant lion enclosure. That's for sure. And you know, we'll curve it here so our guests can see what's going on. And you know what? I don't know if it negatively affects our lions to have this much glass. Remember when Isaac said this zoo was profitable? It was profitable initially. I didn't say that it would continue to be profitable. So this gate is too close to the edge here. Like, I can't get the curve in. So let me delete this and also delete this lovely slope that we managed to produce. And then let's try putting the gate a little further in so we can bend around. There we go. No one can see from this side anyway, so it doesn't matter how high the wall is. We'll keep it nice and low. But then, of course, as we get back over to here, we want to make sure that our walls get nice and high again. Yes. How high can we go? The answer is extremely high. That is insanity. Actual insanity. And then we'll just connect this up, guys. Look, there's a lovely train coming around. At the same time, they're going to be able to look in through these giant glass walls that we have and view the interior of our zoo. No, it needs to be undone. It's the turn there is not sharp enough. There we go.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat.
They definitely cannot.
The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat barrier.
I'm way ahead of you, Nancy.
You should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
Oh, I see.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a minimum height of 4 meters.
We're there, Nancy. Don't you worry. We're above 4 meters. Is this high enough here? Maybe this is a bit too low. Let's move this up.
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
All right. They definitely will not be able to jump out of there. That is for sure. So animal market, 2 tigers, $5,000 each. My goodness. All right, let's get these guys sent to the zoo, presumably in a nice little box.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Okay, food tray large, sure. Again, we want to put it near the window so our guests can see the tigers.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink.
Oh, I see.
There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
Oh, so we can actually like fully customize. I guess we'll go with calm water, right? Terrain painting. There are 6 core terrain types: grass, long grass, soil, light and heavy, rock, smooth and rough, sand, fine and coarse, and snow. Animals don't distinguish between different types of rock, dirt, and sand. If an animal likes sand, both fine and coarse sand are acceptable. Okay. Lake cleanliness. I can't lower this.
Yes,
oh, there we
that'll
go.
do
Beautiful.
nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
Sure. Okay, so we did go a little low on the first one there, but we managed to make that a little taller. That's fine. Okay, so let's add some enrichment for our lions, shall we? We've got a frozen blood pumpkin and a rubbing pad. What in the world is a frozen blood pumpkin? And how in the world is this something that... I thought it was a fish then. It's not. It's the tiger. How in the world is this like amusement for the lions? I assume it's not, right? I assume that's just purely decorational. I assume that it's the rubbing pad that the lions will actually enjoy.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat.
They eat the pumpkin.
You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
For now, we will pop down the blueprint that she's already given to us.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio, click on the Terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
Okay.
Okay then, open the Terrain Editing tool, select Painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
Okay, we'll give him some heavy soil. Intensity. I want very intense soil. Oh yeah, look at that. And then size. There we go. They love soil. Although maybe not too much, because it has gone down a bit there. Okay. Oh, do they need more grass here? Like, does the distribution need to be... Oh, okay. So, like, if I put down a little bit more grass... Maybe a smaller bit of intensity. You know, we put it down like here. Does that... That's not enough grass. I don't think.
Right then.
There we go.
All animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want.
The wattle bush? Sure.
You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
Okay, so we'll go with Asia then. Nature, filter, biome, continent, Asia. So presumably I can put any of these down. Does it give me a, it says biomes, tropical, temperate, and grassland. But we're not allowed certain things from temperate? I guess maybe it's a crossover between temperate and Asia that we need, so we need this stuff. Okay, that makes sense. Yep, perfect. Maybe let's change the filter to like grassland. And put some of these. Oh my. Is that right? What?
They say the good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right, let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
So despite our excessive spending on the enclosure walls here, we do still manage to turn a profit. The zoo's still making some money, which is always good. All right, let's check out this little maze.
Now then, Just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese. Expand their social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail.
Too few adults.
Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong.
They have done a very good job in recreating these animals, though. They look really good. All right, let's see. What is their social tab? They're not happy with the sprinkler. Oh, this is not the social tab. This is the social tab.
As you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Well, off you pop to the animal market.
I'm already there, my friend. I'm already there. Don't you worry. I do wonder if we can, like, move multiple at a time. Oh, we can. You can shift click. Beautiful.
Peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Got a snow leopard? Is she inside of the,
Just like people,
she's here.
animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the
I know the
case
feeling.
of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barriers for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopard somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
I understand. It's this little bit here that needs to be changed.
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather, you should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat. As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
That's good to know, Nancy. I have placed a cooler down. I can place another one if you'd like. Increase the snow leopard's overall welfare to 75%. Add 3 coolers. Okay. I can add 3 coolers.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Okay. Let me click on one of these guys first, so I can get an idea of, like, what terrain we need, as opposed to just putting it down willy-nilly. Alright, so, kind of like, I want to move this window, because it's kind of in my way. Because I want to be able to simultaneously, here we go, look at their terrain needs. And also this here. So we'll go up on size and we'll put down some more snow over on the back half here. Until snow melts if it's not in a cooler area. I see. So it needs to be around the cooler. Like this. That makes a lot of sense. And now we just need long grass. Oh gosh, that guy's going so fast. Probably shouldn't put it next to the snow, right? They want quite a bit of long grass as well. I'm hoping that getting over this doesn't... I think that's going to lower the rock too low if I get rid of too much of this over here, so... Is this the right thing? It is. Grass long. Oh no, they want a lot less grass. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Rock smooth. He's not happy with the amount of grass. There's too much grass. It's my first time playing, chat. Don't worry. I'll get there. You got to forgive and forget. All right. Okay, get rid of all the grass, replace it with some lovely rock and snow. Not too little snow, though.
Well then, all of
Beautiful.
that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Is that this?
As you can see, this list shows you the animals' overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Nancy, what are you doing to poor Oni here? He is starving. Like, legitimately on the brink of death. Please locate this creature for me. Are they in here? Are you in here, my friend? Starving? You are. This is not the right one. It's the other one that's starving, but still. Presumably it's the, Can we get like an overall look at the enclosure? Maybe? Let me try locating this guy again. If I click locate, how close does it get me? Oh, he's right here. Can he get out? Presumably he can get over this rock, right? He's not just like perpetually trapped. 3 animals close to death. Oh my goodness. Are they all in here? They are all in here. Okay, so these guys need food, presumably. They've got a water pipe. Let's add a food trough of some description. I don't know if it matters which kind of food bowl we add. I'm going to assume not. I'm going to just put down like some large food bowls. And set those to priority 9 real quick. To get some someone to come and deliver that. That would be great. What else is up with you guys? It's not our task is to get everyone's social welfare up. Honest, their overall welfare, I see. Nancy, why did you do this? I know. There's tags on the bowls, Isaac. Said it was wrong. Oh. Hold on, man. Let's check the bowls. So, habitat. Whereabouts? Oh, I see. Common ostrich. Oh, I understand. So what are you? You are a ring-tailed lemur. Okay. Ring-tailed lemur. What do you guys need? Gosh, there are so many animals. You need one of these. You need a small water bowl. But not water. We want food. You need a platform. That's probably why these are right at the top. Okay, we'll put down... There is a feeding platform over here that's full of food. That guy just got teleported away into a box. Why? Dehydrated, close to death, starving. I legitimately think this guy might be trapped. So I'm going to delete this rock. Please go and eat. My friend, there is food on the other side of the habitat for you to enjoy. That tail is something else. Look at the length of that thing. Oh my goodness. Everyone's taking photos. They can't get enough of it, and now they're bored and they're done. Okay, so that's fine. There's also water here. I don't know why you are severely dehydrated. Water pipe, current volume, unlimited. Uses last month, 0. Are you unhappy with the state of affairs? Animal nutrition has several issues. They're not happy with the habitat, and they're not happy with enrichment. So presumably, my assumption is that we should try and change like their habitat and their enrichment tools, and then maybe they'll start eating and drinking again. So let's lower the amount of grass and increase the amount of soil, and see if that has some positive effects here. The game does get a little bit laggy when doing large areas like this. But that's fine. Okay, so they're much happier with the habitat now. That's fine. Environment-wise, they're not happy with these trees, but for the most part, they're more than happy. Social-wise, they're fine. And then enrichment-wise, they're not getting enough enrichment. It also says food enrichment 0 out of 32. Gotta buy that RTX card, Isaac? I know, man. This game is heavy. It is in early access. It's a beta right now, so things may change before launch. But this game is difficult to run. So let's see. I guess I can filter by species. So we have the ring-tailed lemur. Ah, that makes life a lot easier, actually. So food and water, there's just a standard stuff here. Heaters and coolers, beds and shelters, and then enrichment items. So I'm not gonna lie, it looks like they've got a whole lot of enrichment right now. I'll put more down. Like, I'll put down a beach ball, another one of these things. What is that? That's a sprinkler. And then, like, you know, another cardboard box for them to enjoy. Is that enough? Are you thoroughly enriched? The answer would seem to be no. This guy also appears to be... Oh, please unbox the animal. Why? I didn't... What? Unbox all animals, please. They just... What? They just had like 4 lemurs all sat in a box. Okay, the one that's close to death, I would like to call a vet to please come and look at this this animal. The one that's dehydrated presumably can just go and drink. It's also the one that's close to death. Okay, can I want you to go and drink. I'm also going to call it... Yeah, it's okay. A vet has been called. This zoo seems fine. I know, right? What in the world? Everybody else seems okay now. It's just this guy who is currently playing with this cardboard box that we have just acquired instead of going to drink water. Okay, is he going to do it? He's done it. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. All right. The ring-tailed lemurs, check. They're taken care of. All right, who else? Who else is not having a good time on their welfare here? Mashika is a hippopotamus who is not loving life. What is our objective? Increase all species overall welfare to 80%. We're actually quite close now, 73%. Although it might have been a bit higher previously. Let's check though. Let's go and check out our hippopotamus, shall we? Okay. What's up with you? You're not happy with your social life, you're not happy with the habitat, and you're not happy with your enrichment either. Okay. So what's up with the habitat? Terrain-wise, there's not enough rock for you. My friend, never fear. I have all the rock that you could ever want. Which is really not much rock, honestly. Boom. Okay, so that's that taken care of. The shelter space is critically insufficient to cover all animals. That is because there is no shelter by the looks of it. Also, not a problem. Habitat, let's filter this time to the hippopotamuses. And then let's get some kind of shelter down. We will go with a medium shelter, I guess. That medium shelter is very large. We will go with a small shelter, I guess. And we'll put it for now, like right over here. Perfect. All right, so hopefully, shelter-wise, you're living life a bit more. Social-wise, what's up here? The animal population is too low. You want more than 2. Also, not a problem. Can I buy? I cannot buy. Can I buy? Animal alerts. Low welfare. Oh my goodness, our warthog is close to death. Sorry, hippopotamuses. You're, not doing great, but we'll come back in a second. Animal nutrition has severe needs. See, I don't know if in cases like this we have to worry about putting down Thursday. Like this water bowl is empty. is that the case that I have to put down more keeper huts so that someone can come and actually deliver the water here? Because right now they have a water bowl, but nobody is delivering water to it, unless this is what he's doing right now. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Okay. So, animal is severely dehydrated. Yeah. I don't know if there's much I can do about that. I assume what we could do is put down another human shelter nearby. The warthog you long adopted, the not long adopted is almost dead. That's true. Oh my goodness. A giraffe is also not doing great. Oh no, he's doing fine. Maybe hire more keepers? Maybe. Let's have a look. Zoo. I'm assuming we have a staff section. We do. We've got a lot of keepers. Gosh, I forgot this is something we have to worry about as well. When we actually get into our own zoo, we have to worry about their happiness, their energy, promoting these guys, you know, paying them more, doing all that kind of stuff. This guy, they've got a lot of zookeepers here. I think they're okay for the time being. The overall species welfare has gone down by the looks of it, which is just brilliant. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All we care about right now is the welfare of our animals. So we go to the welfare tab. We look at... Which one's the welfare tab? Oh, it's this one. We look at the welfare. Who's got the lowest welfare? It's the guy who's gonna die of dehydration. But he's got water. He will eat soon. Let's go back to the hippopotamuses, shall we? Such a long word. Hippopotamuses. Hopefully they're doing pretty well these days. It doesn't look like I can add more hippopotamuses to the list. Like, I don't have the authority to buy more hippopotamuses just yet. So I'm sorry. You cannot have anything else. You can have more enrichment, though. That is doable. Let's see here. Enrichment for the hippos. Let's put down like a big old rubber pillar. Let's put down one of these big old hanging feeders. And let's put down whatever this is. Okay, how are you doing now? Now you're very happy with the enrichment. Perfect. Has that bumped up our score? We're at 73%. All right, who else? Who else wants treatment here? We'll go low to high. We'll go over and check the zebras out. Or zebras out. Depending on how you want to say that. The zebras hanging out with the giraffes. That's fine. Not happy with their enrichment levels. Also, fine. Habitat, filter, species. I would like to change this to... I might put the wrong things, by the way, in with the hippos, because I still had the ring-tailed lemur selected. Where is... Oh, it's a plains zebra. So it's P. There it is. Okay. So you guys are happy with the rubber pillars. And also with small barrel feeders. Maybe like a ball. Boom. 76%, 75%. We're getting there, though. Maybe put the keeper hut in the middle of a few habitats. I don't think you can put... Oh, you mean like just between... Oh, look at this. They've got like a floating viewing platform. That is super cool. I like that. You mean like put down a new keeper enclosure? Then I know they're not keeper enclosures. We're not like storing the keepers. Then again, there's one right here, right? This is a keeper hut that's right next to our guys. Oh my goodness. Are they not happy about the thirst? Oh no. They're protesting. I mean, that's fair, because I'm pretty sure these guys are about to die. Dehydrated. You have water, though. This bowl is full of water. Are you unhappy about other aspects? Hydration is... The meal quality is not great, but everything else they're happy on. I legitimately do not know what I can do if these guys refuse to drink. Let me check real quick. Habitat. Let's filter for the warthogs, aka the common warthogs. So we'll unselect zebra, we'll reselect common warthog, and then I'll put down another drinking area for you if you want. Maybe like a large one. Maybe like a water pipe so it's unlimited. And then now maybe they'll drink. Oh. I am actually so mad. I just built this new water pump for you, and here you are just... Oh my goodness. Either way, they're doing great. Living life large. 77%. Perfect. All right. What else we got? Who else is unhappy right now? These guys, the ring-tailed lemurs, are still not happy. Why not? What is wrong with you guys? What are you unhappy about? Habitat and enrichment. That's fine. We can add more enrichment. Maybe these guys just want a little bit more enrichment than the average animal. That is completely fine. Ring-tailed lemur. Enrichment. Let's add in. They've already got a lot of stuff going on here, but you know, we can always add more. I don't know what these little... This thing always seems to do really well. Although I can't fit it in there. Perfect. 79%. I was thinking if we wait, it might just tick up. But no, we are going to have to fix at least one more creature. What does this mean? I haven't trapped them, have I, here? I haven't, like, doomed them to death? Let's go check out the timber wolves, right? Let's just get the percentage up before they realize where I put that. And then we'll come back. So, habitat, filter, species, and then where is timber wolf? Boom. Okay, so we'll give these guys like a box. We'll give them a prey-scented snack. We'll give them a dog ball. And we'll give them a chew toy. What more could they ask for?
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
We're going to a different country? I have my passport. Where are we going?
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. Oh, and maybe having a type of frog named after me.